What's going on, everybody? I'm going to take another few minutes to deviate from the Bible study once again to bring you something that I think is pretty cool. So there's this video called There Are No Forests on Earth. The one that I saw was called There Are No Forests on Flat Earth. And I have to admit that at first when I saw this, I turned my nose up at it because I thought it was a stupid idea. The picture right here is a forest, right? So I thought, whatever. But thankfully, I ended up seeing a summary video narrated by Mark Sargent, and in that video I learned some pretty cool stuff, which I'm also going to show you here in my own summary video. So instead of taking you through this video, I will take you to this website where all of the content in the video can be seen here. Secretenergy.com, are these giant prehistoric trees? So to really put this in a nutshell for you, and I'm going to skip over some of the weird stuff. There is some strange stuff on here. There's a lot of claims that I'm not really too sure about, but I am embracing this one part of the theory. These land formations called mesas, or mesas, I'm going to call them mesas, used to actually be giant trees. Okay, that's the premise. Okay, so as we scroll down, we're going to compare some images of tree stumps to mesas, and they are strikingly similar. Nobody can argue that. The only two differences this guy says you can find really are the material that these things are made out of, wood versus rock, or as he calls it, he says it's silicon, and size. Those are the only two differences. Look at this. It's in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden it's just springing up out of the ground. I think, mainstream science will say it's tectonic plates, but that, you know what? When I picture rocks coming together and getting crushed, they crumble and they get destroyed. Rocks don't slam up against each other and magically protrude out of the surface of the earth like mainstream science wants us to believe, right? So this one is my favorite. We've all seen trees like this, the double stump as I call it, and here's a rock formation that perfectly imitates and mimics this tree stump. Pretty sweet, hey? So, yeah, if we keep going, we see mesa and tree stump, and they all look really similar. It's really cool. And those are all obviously trees that were somehow, we can theorize that they were cut down, or at least they're flat on the top now. We can't assume that they were cut down, but it looks like it, right? That's what happens to tree stumps, that makes them flat at the top. But if we keep going, we will find an answer for this. When we see trees that are they're stumps, but they're broken and they're all craggy and rocky looking, like all pokey. So keep on scrolling down. There's another one, and lo and behold, we see that, oh yeah, right, there are mountains where the peaks and the crags look like broken tree stumps. It's the exact same thing again. It's remarkable that they look so similar. And so logically, in my mind anyway, I thought, okay, coming from a Christian background, it's easy for me to think that, yeah, maybe in the original created world, God did make giant trees. That would make sense. And as one YouTuber comment said, if these trees existed, the oceans wouldn't be as vast as they are because these trees would take up so much water, all that water level would be quite a bit, it'd be a lot lower, a lot less water. But anyway, in Revelation, John says that he sees the new earth, and it's actually, there are no mountains, he says. And he says that all the oceans are gone too. He says that it's all land interspersed with water. And I believe that's what the world looked like before the flood. And with these giant trees everywhere, yeah, I think all the water that once was underneath the surface of the earth would have been feeding these things. So it all kind of lines up, in my opinion, with the old way that the world was before the flood. And so in my brain, the next thing that I thought of was if mountains are actually the stumps of old trees, then what are mountain ranges? The mountains that surround these crags, right? The ones that are all mossy looking from up above, they're covered in trees. And so I just kind of got thinking, and I got some, let's see, I got some pictures here from the internet of roots from trees breaking through the ground. Here's one, here's another. You might already know where I'm going with this, but I'll just go through these. This is a pretty cool one. There's another sweet one. And I think that's all of them. So let's go back to Google Maps and take a look at mountain ranges from the sky. bird's eye view. What do these look like to you? To me, they look like some form of system, not unlike a circulatory system or a root system that you would find surrounding a tree sticking out of the ground. You know how they poke out I know most of the roots go down, but there are some roots that go out to give the tree a little bit of balance. And that's exactly what I think is happening here. These old trees had root systems that must have been massive, and as one guy put it, they look very organic. You know, we've got these main beams, almost like an artery or a vein, and then you've got these smaller venules sticking out off of the main beams, and even off of those, you've got the capillary action going on. It's all very organic looking. This guy, I mean, this theory is pretty cool. And the video didn't mention the root system, but this other guy actually beat me to this. So I'm not the first one to think of this. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I encourage you to do your own research. You'll find a lot of interesting theories out there. I just try and stick with the basics, or at least I am right now anyway. So that's as far as I've gotten. Mountains, I think, used to be giant trees in God's original creation. And mountain ranges are their root systems. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye.